Hey guys, it's me, Skylar. Hello. How have you guys been? I don't really have a script for this video, so it's probably just going to be me rambling. So if you enjoy that, great. And I have a little speed paint going on in the background, so if you just kind of want to draw with me, that'd be awesome. I recorded this, I think, about a month ago. Yeah, probably about a month ago. I've been meaning to sit down and make another video, but I just never really got around to it because I've been really busy making my comic. If you don't know about it, it's called Operation Hero. It's on Webtoon Canvas, and I am super proud of myself. It's doing pretty well so far. I cannot believe the feedback I've been getting. I am it's like I'm not even that far into the story. Like, I have so much story to tell, and like people are already like really hyped about it, which I'm really excited about because there's just so much more story to tell, and I'm really excited that like people are like getting into it. So woohoo! It's really good. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a superhero romance. We have our two main characters, and they get partnered up in the superhero pair program, and they don't get along at all. And there's lots of issues, and a little bit of mystery. Just read it. Just read it. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone who supported me with that comic. I can't believe that. I mean, we're already at 100 subscribers, which is awesome. I think we're at, currently at me filming this, I think we're at 111. So it's really cool. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. So I'm here and I'm going to be talking about basically what I've learned making this webcomic and making my comic for the competition or the contest that Webtoon had back in the spring/early summer. And I'm basically going to be going through what I've learned and maybe convincing other people to make comics because it's really cool. So I have always wanted to make a comic, like ever since I was little. Or not like little, but like when I was like 12. Oh yeah, my next video, sidetrack, I know. But my next video, I'm going to be redrawing old art. So I'm going to pick like an old art piece and redraw it for you guys, which is going to be super funny because my old art is really cringy. But the connection between my old art and me wanting to make comics is I would make characters, and like always envision them in stories and like always imagine like, oh, I want to make like a comic of this, but I never did it. So I would always have like all of these characters and like never draw them. So yeah, so I'm really excited. This is the first comic I've ever like done. Like, this is like the first ever comic I've ever done in my whole entire life. So it's really fun. And it's super exciting. I'm also planning on making another video where I go through all of the old art for Operation Hero because I started making this series when I was, I think, around 13 or 14 because I wanted to make a comic of Operation Hero. And I was, making the characters, and I ended up making, and I originally it was supposed to be like regular comic format and not the vertical scrolling format that Webtoon has. So I have like, I think about like 2.5 pages of a drawn out comic of the original Operation Hero. So I kind of want to like find like all the old stuff and like go through it with you guys because I think it'd be really funny. Because the characters are different. The story is different. Yeah, so. But anyway, as you can probably tell, my experience in comics is very minimal. And this past January, I read The Kiss Bet on Webtoon, and that is like my favorite webcomic ever. And I read it, and like it inspired me to make a comic. I was like, I've always wanted to make a comic. And I was originally working on another comic, but that story is like really special to me, and I want to be like super like leveled up when I finally make that story, if that makes any sense. So I was like, you know what? This other story that I'm also really passionate about, I should do this one first because I'm just really passionate about it. And I really wanted to write a romance because that's like one of my favorite genres. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go do that. So that's what kind of happened. So in January, I started doing some character designs and started kind of writing out the story. I think it was the end of January. And so I started drawing the characters and getting a feel of who they were. My main character, Anya, went through some changes. She got her name Anya in that brainstorming session because originally her name was going to be Luna, but I was like, I use that name so much, so I'm going to scrap that. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point. But I started, developing it, and then I stopped for a little while because I got busy. And the pandemic happened, and I found the Webtoon contest. And I was like, oh, I should do the short story contest so I can, get better at drawing comics because I want to start out Operation Hero on the right foot. And so I just wanted some experience doing comics, and I definitely learned so much, and I think my art improved like crazy town crazy because you draw for my short story contest submission, it's called Lilies. I think for each episode, except for the first episode was pretty short, but the first episode had I think 38 panels, whereas the rest of the episodes had 70. So I was churning out 70 panels, and I gave myself 3 weeks to do it because I didn't decide to be a part of the contest until the first week of June. So I had a few days to write it and 3 weeks to draw 4 episodes. So I was stressed. I'm glad that I did it because I learned so much. I learned what not to do, what to do, all that good stuff. So yeah, I think my art has improved so much for the better. And I think what it teaches you is to draw the same thing over and over again. And then at first it's hard because you're not used to drawing the same thing. You're just you're trying to figure out how you're drawing the subject. And the more you start drawing it, the better that you get at, drawing the thing, and then you find little shortcuts, and, it's all good. All good in the hood. And in the long term, it actually makes you faster at drawing because you're drawing 40 panels a week. So you're doing the line art one day, or at least for me, my process with my comic is I do storyboard / line art in a day. And then if I don't finish the line art, then I go and finish the line art the next day. And then start with the flat colors, then do flat colors, and then flat colors for me typically takes the longest because I like to draw a lot of things and it's all colorful. So, and then you go into the next stage, which is laying down the shadows and then the highlights. And that usually takes a few hours for me. And then I go ahead and letter it and then put in some last minute details like sparkles and shiny stuff because I like that stuff. And then after that, bada bing, bada boom, it's done. So usually, for example, Operation Hero, one episode typically for me takes about 4 to 5 days to make. But for episode 6, which by the time I post this YouTube video, it'll be out next week. It'll be out on the 18th. So that episode that took me 7 days to make because that one first of all, it had more panels, and second of all, it's a little more, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a little more deep, I guess, more visually. I just had to draw a lot in that one. You'll see it, you'll understand once you get there, but yeah, and I feel that episode really, I leveled up in that episode, so I'm really proud of that episode. So next week. Now, that episode's gonna be for your enjoyment. The funny thing is, actually, originally that episode was not supposed to be like a part of the series, and I suddenly had this idea and I wrote it down and I wrote the episode, and now it's done, and now I can't imagine the series without it. I'm like, this is so much more like, it's like foreshadowing, but like also like you get into the mind of the character a little more, which is like something that we needed that we hadn't had yet. And I was like, yes, how could I have had this comic without this episode? I don't know. So yeah, if you are like on the fence about making a comic, I would 10 out of 10 recommend. It's so good. It's like the best thing ever. Like, I super enjoy it. I enjoy making this comic. It's so much fun. I learned so much. I'm getting better at anatomy. I'm getting better at perspective, getting better at facial expressions, getting better at coloring. It's just like you level up in everything, because in a comic you are forced to draw everything. Like everything. Backgrounds, props, people, expressions, color. You do everything. And you write too. So this is like way up my alley. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. But I'm really excited. So yeah, if you guys, so next week I'm going to be doing a redraw of old childhood art. And then if you guys want me to do some like tips and tricks videos about like writing for comics or drawing for comics or like just anything, if you guys want, because I know some people have asked me my process and like what I do, or like some tips for comics. So if you guys want me to make a video about like my like tips for comics, like making them or like writing for them, or like do's and don'ts, let me know if you're interested, because I'll do it. I'll do it. So I'm planning on making weekly videos. I'm planning on posting them every Friday. Also, so I can remind you that my episodes for my comic is out every Friday. Well, not every Friday. For now, it's every other Friday. So, for example, this past Friday, I posted episode 5, which was on September 4th. And episode 6, the next episode, is coming out the 18th. So I'm doing it like every other Friday until I have like a really decent buffer, which is like for me 4 to 5 episodes. And then I'm going to be starting to update weekly. So every Friday I will be updating the comic. So woohoo! And hopefully I'll be posting videos every Friday of just me talking and hanging out with you guys, just talking about random stuff and having like a little speed paint video in the background. So if you're, interested, my comic is out there. I'll link it in the description. Make sure you like every episode. Follow it, and please rate it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting me. Thank you so much if you've sat through this video so far, and if you have sat through this video, comment onion. So this has a meaning in my comic, but we won't get to that for a little while. But once we do get to it, it'll be funny. So So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have a nice time just like rambling, and I feel like I'm rambling like way too much now, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I'll see you next Friday, hopefully. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.